Hey y'all, welcome to the Clock Tower. I'm Colton, here with Brandon. 5 cards, 5 minutes, returns to finish up Kaguya-sama Love is War. Uncommons and commons. Brandon, what's our first card?
First up, we have the U. When this card is placed on stage, you may reveal the top card. If it's a character or an event, you can add it to hand and then discard a card. When this card becomes reversed, you can choose the top card of your opponent's clock, put it into waiting room, and then clock them from the top card of their deck. So you can kind of do some silly effects with that, maybe try to get climaxes into the clock.
I think the primary benefit of this effect is to try to mess up your opponent's leveling. Maybe you can sack this and keep them from getting the color that they need into their level or clock for a certain teched event or something. I think there are limited uses to this. It has on-play hand filter, which is good. Next up, we have Kaguya Bluffing, level 0, 1000 power. On play, mill 2. If there's a climax, you can pitch 1 to salvage a character. Also on play, you can pay 1 and salvage the 3/1 event from waiting room. Event bonders. Event bonders are good, especially event bonders that mill and can potentially also fix. The 3/1 event's okay. It's another one of those rare events. Basically, it lets your character side attack without losing soul, and your opponent's characters cannot side attack. So basically, it lets you keep your board, and it prevents your opponent from side attacking in return, prevents them from modulating their soul damage in that way. If you run the 3/1, you're running this.
Especially if you get into game states where you're kind of about equal power level, use this card to bring out that event and kind of break a stall into more of a commanding, this is my board now. So I think it's at least an interesting card with that kind of tech in place. Next up, we have this 1/0 event. When you use this card, you can choose one of your characters and they get on reverse, salvage a character from waiting room, and they also get 1500 power. You then also can choose one of your opponent's characters and minus 500 power from that. So effectively, it's a 2k power split difference, trying to help give your characters that opportunity for that reverse and potential salvage. Minusing 500 is also especially helpful because you get to choose which one of your opponent's characters, so you could target, say, back row brainstormers. You could target cards that 500 power would make a significant difference, and you can also have it in different lanes, so you don't necessarily have to be the card you're trying to reverse.
Yeah, I like this. It's basically a trade. You trade the event for whatever you can salvage as long as you have something that you can get a reverse with. I don't know if it's going to get run, mostly because events tend to clog decks, but Kaguya is very event friendly, so I think there might be some room for something like this, especially in a deck that maybe needs a little bit more hand fixing. Next, a personal favorite of mine, Shut Up You Idiot. It's a 1/1 event. If you have a Miyuki or Yu on board, you can play this. You can choose one of 3 effects. 1, everybody gains 1 soul. 2, choose up to all of your opponent's characters and blink them. Or 3, if your opponent has 5 or more cards in memory, your opponent puts them all into their waiting. It deals with memory compression. It blinks things away, which is cool. Giving everybody soul, especially in a standby build, is super useful.
You should be able to blink most soul walls. You should be able to, as well as also the 5 or more memory, being able to clear out characters from memory, so you're taking out things like slime. It's very much a denial piece that I think is really helpful in shutting off certain game plans.
The Oberos Mausoleum just caught on fire.
Last up, we have this 3/2 Chica. When placed on stage, you can look at the top 3 cards of your deck and then place them back in any order. So essentially, you can look at your triggers and rearrange so you have them in the right order so you can deal specific amounts of damage. Bounce a cost 0 character. If you discard that event, you can give 2 of your characters 2k power. Definitively know your triggers, clear a lane, and power pump your field.
Being able to fix all 3 of your triggers at your endgame is super useful. Being able to choose what lanes you can side into, being able to choose exact damage so you don't overswing, all of that is good. Discarding the event to give maybe that Kaguya combo that we talked about last time, 2000 power in each lane. That could be really useful for anything that requires a reverse like that. It's interesting. I don't know if there's going to be room for it in final decks, but it's definitely worth thinking about at least. And that's all we got. Thank you for joining us. Brandon will be back on Tuesday with the deck tech. We'll have gameplay for that next Thursday. Another Clock Talk the following Tuesday, 2 weeks from now. The next 5 cards, 5 minutes, 7 Deadly Sins. So yeah, until next time, please like, share, comment, and subscribe, and have a good one.
We'll see you then.